What's cracking, everybody? I'm running a couple minutes late here, so I apologize. Anyways, we got it going. Let's get the start sit questions going. I look like I'm in a bunker today for some reason. I don't know why, but man, I'm pumped up. I'm excited. I am excited here for week number 7. I don't know why, man. I don't know what it is. I'm in a good mood today. So yeah, man, let's get it, dude. Let's go. Let's talk about your start sit questions. Anything you guys got, man, throw them my way. And yeah, man, the freaks and geeks, fantasy freaks and geeks. What's going on? So yeah, man, I'm excited to talk to you guys today, man. So let's get it going. Bop, 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 bop. Flex slot, PPR, Isaiah Pacheco. Man, how about CEH getting benched for the rookie? By the way, I love this rookie, dude. The measurables are off the charts, right? This kid out of Rutgers. I think he ran sub 4.40. I think he ran a 4.37 if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm not going to look it up. It doesn't matter. Isaiah Pacheco, this dude is fast and he's a big body, right? So like the measurables look really, really nice. And if he is the starter and he starts getting some starter carries, man, I don't know. Could look pretty good. Do I like him or do I like Christian Kirk in the flex? In PPR, I'm going to say Christian Kirk. And even though Pacheco is the starter, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, let's wait to see what his usage actually looks like. Jerick McKinnon's probably going to get into the mix. McKinnon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, actually leads Kansas City in running back snaps played. So I would just say that they're not. It's not like they're going to kick him to the curb. You know what I'm saying? They are going to play him out there, man. So I would say Christian Kirk. Look, Pacheco's got that upside because again, he's the running back. He's going to get a few looks here. Matchup doesn't look good for KC too, by the way, from the run game. Okay, San Francisco has been lights out defensively anywhere across the board. You want to take a look. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends, running backs. San Francisco's been right there, Yeah, so the matchup is not great. You just figure he's going to get, a guaranteed, what are we thinking here, like 10 to 12 touches? 10, 12 touches for Pacheco? And then Christian Kirk, he's taken on the Giants, and the Giants have been, come on now. Not only like a real-life surprise, they've been a surprise defensively as well. You look at the personnel for the Giants, and who do they got, man? Like, they don't have players on the defensive side of the football, but I think they've been a little bit of a surprise. Not the best matchup in the world out of the slot for the Giants, but I think overall, Christian Kirk probably sees, decent volume, and I think he gets the job done today. I don't know, man. It's an awfully close call. It's a great question, but yeah, I guess I'm just not all in on Pacheco yet. Like, listen, from like a prospect standpoint, I love Pacheco. I wrote about Pacheco. Like, I'm in on Pacheco. I like him a lot. Obviously, he checks all the boxes for the James Coe guy, right? Like, dude is a late round draft pick. That's cool. But the measurables off the charts, right? So like, we like a lot of those things, man. A lot of the boxes being checked there. I just don't know in a bad matchup how many carries, how many touches does Pacheco get, right? If you're telling me it's a 50-50 split, dude, Pacheco all the way. But I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a 3-man backfield. I think they're going to play with their heartstrings here a little bit. And it's going to be up to Pacheco. It's going to be up to Pacheco to then just go crazy. If he goes crazy, then he goes crazy. And then, again, he starts eating into more of the McKinnon shares, eats into more of the CEH shares as well. If they kick McKinnon to the side, like I said, then we're talking. Then we're cooking. But I just don't see that. Not this week. Not this week anyways. So there you go. Half PPR, you need a flex. Dobbs, Murray, or Pacheco. Dobbs, Murray, or Pacheco. My mind is blanking on what Murray. Are we talking Latavius Murray? I don't know. You're going to have to hit me back. I like Dobbs this week, though. If it's between Dobbs and Pacheco, give me Dobbs. Same thing here. Half PPR, Kirk, Bateman, Everett. You're playing the Herbert owner. I love Everett this week, but I don't know how you play him over the upside that is presented by Bateman. Bateman does sound like he's going to be going today. And Bateman, I don't know. Again, how do you want to play fantasy? Like, how is your roster constructed? Do you need consistency? If you need consistency, I might go Everett there. But if you need upside, you got to go Bateman. And yeah, there you go. Fernando Maiz, what's going on, dude? Hope you've got a great day. Hey, man, every Sunday is a great Sunday, man. Let me tell you, I got the best job in the world. Talking to folks like you, talking about fantasy football, man, and getting paid a hefty paycheck, bro. Like, life is good every Sunday. Let me tell you right now. Tyler Lockett or Deontay Johnson? Deontay Johnson. Tyler Lockett did not practice all week. I don't give a crap what Pete Carroll says. If he plays, there ain't no way he's good. Like, there's just no way. I'd like to believe he is. I've got Lockett in a lot of spots. In my big money league, I've got Lockett. He's on my bench. Can't play him. No way. Don't trust the hamstring. Again, didn't practice all week. If that hamstring flares up and you're left with like a goose egg, I mean, come on. If you've got a player like Deontay Johnson waiting in the wings, you play Deontay Johnson. That's how I would approach that. Kyle Pitts or Gerald Everett? Gerald Everett. Like, not even a question in my mind. Gerald Everett. Let me, dude. I got some stats here on Gerald Everett. Okay, because again, I really like Gerald Everett this week, especially in DFS, just $4,000. I've got like 10 lineups going, and I think 8 of them either have Gerald Everett or Cade Otton. So it's either Gerald Everett or Cade Otton. We're going to the moon on these two guys. Okay, that's it. That's all we got are those two guys. That's who I'm playing with in DFS. I think Cade Otton, if I'm not mistaken, is like $2,600 or $2,700. And Everett is $4,000. But man, I do like Everett. Hold on, here we go. I got it. Everett. Okay, here we go. Okay, come on. Okay. Gerald Everett. Of course, Darnold Parham is out. Joshua Palmer is out. Right? Keenan Allen is questionable. Hinted he might sit, but whatever. Even if he plays, that's fine. As a matter of fact, I go back to this old adage. Like, there's a certain a level of players, of good players, you want active. You don't want a complete dearth of talent on the offensive side. You don't want to be the guy saying, well, somebody's got to catch the ball. That almost never works out. That means the offense sucks. That means touchdown upside sucks. And for tight ends, what do we know? We know we want them. It's all about touchdown upside with the tight ends because we know they're not going to get a lot of yardage, right? So, anyways, if Keenan Allen does go, I think that helps the Chargers offense, and I think that ultimately will help Donald Parham too. Now, again, there's a tipping point. If there's too many guys, then the tight end probably might not get work, right? So if there's too many guys, maybe your guy doesn't get the work, right? But I think in this offense, they definitely need Keenan Allen to come back. So whether he plays or doesn't play, I think it all plays well for Gerald Everett, who, by the way, has looked good, dude. Have you guys been watching Charger games? Like, Gerald Everett looks good. Like, he looks like the real deal. I've got DeAndre Carter as a deep sleeper in that one, too. By the way, Gerald Everett, man, he's averaging 3.7 receptions and 40 yards per game, 6 targets per game, which is, again, none of that sounds like super impressive, but just keep in mind, okay, he's tight end 9 on the season, and he's top 5 in tight end targets, top 10 in tight end air yards, right? So the volume is certainly there for him to kind of outpace his tight end 9 projections, right? So I think he's been a huge add off the waiver wire, and I do believe it's a legit smash spot for him against Seattle, who has, oh, by the way, given up the most fantasy points to tight ends. So give me Gerald Everett in fantasy this week. I really, really think he's got a chance to do something nice, man. Doug Rowe, what's going on? Salute to you, my friend. I don't think, Doug, I've seen you in the chats before. And if, by the way, for anyone who, if this is their first time, if you guys would like and subscribe to the channel, that would be chef's kiss. Would appreciate you, man. Let's make it happen. And the channel's not just this. Obviously, we've got the start sit questions every single Sunday morning. But you know, my skits go online too. And you know, if you're wanting to have a couple chuckles over fantasy football, I think that's pretty good, man. All right, Doug Rowe, let's get it going. You've got. I need to pick two between Wandale, DeAndre Carter, Pacheco. Only got to sit one of them. If I have to sit one, I'm going to sit. Oh, that's tough. Okay, if I'm picking two, definitely sticking Pacheco because I want to get that upside. If I'm picking two guys, you're leaning Pacheco and Carter. I think you're right. I feel like that's the right call. You know, Wandale did score a touchdown last week, but I think he played less than 30% of the snaps, dude. And I'm going to look this up because now I'm just curious. But yeah, I think he played less than 30% of the snaps, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Wandale Robinson. Let's check it out. Yeah, he only played 14 snaps total, dude, which is, geez, not great. And Wandale Robinson, yeah, there he is. He played less than 25%. He only played 22.6% of the snaps last week. My sleeper play in this one is Darius Slayton. And I know Wandale is the much more buzzier name, much more high-profile name. People really want to be excited about Wandale. And I think his snap share will obviously go up. I mean, you can't go down from 22% unless you're just not even playing. So I think his snap share will go up. But remember, you know, again, we're talking about a guy in Darius Slayton who, when given the chance, has played pretty well. By the way, he did lead the New York Giants wide receivers in snap share. I've got some interesting stats on Darius Slayton, who, by the way, 98% available on Yahoo League. So if you're like in desperation mode and you need somebody, I like Darius Slayton. Slayton, when he's played 40 total snaps, and again, when you're playing like 60% of the snaps, that's about 40 snaps, right? In the 36 games where Slayton has played at least 40 total snaps, he's averaged 9.6 fantasy points per game. Again, we're talking about in the flex, some touchdown upside. The matchup looks good too, by the way, okay? The Jags have allowed the 8th most fantasy points to wide receivers lined up outside, and starting cornerback Shaq Griffin is out. Okay, so Darius Slayton, deep sleeper, desperation play. I really think he's got a chance. And again, the history's pretty good, you know, 9.6 fantasy points per game. Anytime he's played at least 40 total snaps, that's not bad. You know what I mean? And again, somebody hits me on Twitter and says, well, I think it's going to be Wandale. It's going to be Wandale. I'm like, hey, listen, but like, if you want it to be Wandale, fine. It's one of those situations where because I'm saying it's Slayton doesn't mean I'm saying it's not Wandale. It can be both. I know that's hard for some people to figure out, but it can be. If I'm saying one person, doesn't mean I'm not saying the other person. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's make it happen. So yeah, no, I think, but I do think both guys have decent floors and such. By the way, am I coming through okay here? My setup is a little last minute here, man. Like audio wise, just let me know in the chats, man. Like if I'm coming in okay or if it sounds a little weird. And I'll try to get that fixed. I don't know how, but we'll try to get it fixed. Okay. All right, Clark. What's going on, dude? You need a wide receiver and a flex. Dobbs, Wandale, Pitts, or Pacheco. You've got Lockett. Like I said, I'm not playing Lockett. Not if you've got options like Dobbs and Pacheco. Corey Davis against Denver is interesting because Corey Davis is going to get peppered with targets today. That being said, I mean, who wants to go against Patrick Surtain? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but no, I'm actually of that group. Go ahead and give me Dobbs. I like Dobbs against Washington this week. I don't love him, but I do like him. I think Dobbs will get it done. That one's a relatively easy one. I'm just, look, man, Pitts is, I don't know how you play Pitts at this point, dude. You know what I mean? So there you go. On set, on a Liam Neeson film. Hell yeah, let's effing go, Tierra Diaz, the resident movie star in the chats today. That's great, man. Okay, need a QB streamer. Daniel Jones, Goff, Jimmy G, Mariota, Tannehill are the free agent options. I hate Goff, and I know he's been such a popular streamer. But Dallas is number one in sacks and number one in quarterback pressure rate, as we know. Jared Goff, he's my guy. I love Cal. I love Jared Goff. I think Goff has been, unfairly skewered, but we do know that under pressure he does not do well. Doesn't do great. So I would take Goff out of there. For me, it really comes down to Mariota or Jimmy G, and I have Jimmy G marked down as my top streaming quarterback, man, but it's hard to trust Jimmy G. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say Jimmy G of that group. I don't love it. If you're looking for a floor, give me Mariota, okay? Who, by the way, is a quarterback 12 on the season. Like, how is that possible? How's that working? I don't understand how that's working. But Jimmy G, I think, is my top streamer this week. I'll give you some stats on Jimmy G because I can. Because I wrote about Jimmy G in my weekly reception perception matchups column where I cover every single goddamn game, write 7,000 words for absolutely no reason. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs have allowed the third most fantasy points to the position group. 15 total touchdowns allowed to quarterbacks is the most in the NFL. 69% completion rate, very nice. It's also the third worst allowed by Kansas City. Okay. And Jimmy Garoppolo has scored 2 touchdowns in 3 of 5 games, including 2 games in a row. You add CMC into the mix, all of a sudden, this is looking like a real good pass-catching group, right? Like you got Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and now CMC. What? It almost feels like it's impossible for him to fail. And I don't know why, but I still feel like he might fail. But either way, I've got Jimmy G as my top guy. But again, if you're looking for an okay floor, I would go with Mariota. But again, Jimmy G's, I think, the right call. All right. How about Miller? No questions. Just loving the content. Hell, my boy. Let's go. Love it. All right, cool. Loud and clear, brah. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys. All right, cool. Thanks for helping me with the tech side here. Here we go. Jimmy G or Trevor Lawrence? Man, it's funny. On my DirecTV show, by the way, please watch it on DirecTV channel 704, or if you get the Sunday Ticket app, you can watch it on the Sunday Ticket app as well. That starts at 9:40. Okay, Jimmy G or Trevor Lawrence? I love Trevor Lawrence. I really think he's been unfairly criticized. I think he's got one of the worst pass catching groups in the NFL, and I think he's been unfairly criticized. Jimmy G or Trevor Lawrence? I'm saying all this because I'm going to tell you Jimmy G. From a fantasy perspective, I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to get it done. That's all. So there you go. Jimmy G for that one. Alex Chen, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. K-Dot or Tanyan? Give me, Bobby Tunyon or Cade Otton. What a great question that is. I don't have a stat on Bobby Tunyon, but Bobby Tunyon is a really good streaming option this week. I will give you my take on Cade Otton, though. Okay, so Cameron Brate is obviously out. Last time we saw that happen, Cade Otton put up a really solid game. 6 receptions for 43 yards on 7 targets, and again, with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the lineup. Carolina, meanwhile, does allow a 79% catch rate to tight ends. If that sounds like a lot, it is. It's the third worst mark in the NFL. So 79% catch rate for Carolina against tight ends. Cade Otton. And I think Tom Brady's going to go. I think he's going to go wild. I do. I think he's one of my favorite quarterback plays this week in DFS because honestly, all this talk about him and retirement and him going to weddings and him getting special treatment, bro. I just feel like I don't know against Carolina, who's just helpless right now. And listen, defensively, I like Carolina. I do. I think they've got some really nice pieces. Brian Burns is such a good player. J.C. Horn has a bright future in this league. They've got linebackers and safety guys that just flying around the field like Jeremy Chin. Oh my God, great player. But just offensively, they've got nothing. Offensively, they have nothing. I think that the offense is going to put the defense in really bad situations. Time of possession, field position, all the boring things that we never talk about in fantasy. I think those will come into factor here for Tom, and I think Tom Brady does have a really, really nice day today. Cade Otton is looking really good. And I also said to fade Aaron Rodgers this week because, again, Washington top 3 in quarterback pressure rate, and they're not so good against the run. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game script for Green Bay today. So, all of that being said, golly, I still love Bobby Tunyon, man. But I think when I really kind of break it down, I think I'm going Cade Otton. I think I'm going Cade Otton there, all right? So, let's go, Cade. Let's go, Cade! All right, Trey, what's going on, dude? Good to see you, pal. Good to see you this morning. Oh my gosh, we're running out of time already. I jumped on late. That's my bad. I jumped on late today. I've been rambling about random bullshit, but jumped on late today. So let's keep this thing going here. All right, Trey, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first time you might have jumped into the chats, and if that's true, and you'll enjoy it, man. Like if you would like and subscribe, that would be awesome, dude. Pacheco outright took CH job, dropped Foreman for him. I want both, but yes, I would take Pacheco over Foreman for a number of reasons. One, the number one being, of course, you're in a better offense. Okay. Also, Pacheco, a better athlete than Deontay Foreman, who, by the way, I think is a pretty good player too. I really like Deontay Foreman coming out of college, so it's actually been quite satisfying to see Deontay Foreman playing well, at least played well last year with Tennessee. We'll see what he does with Carolina. But yeah, I think you can drop Foreman for Pacheco. I like both. But you want that lead back in a better offense. And again, explosive athlete. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to look up Pacheco's 40 time now. I think it's a 4.37, just off the top of my head, because I'm a sicko and I love 40 times. But I'm going to go ahead and look that up. Pacheco 40 time. Yep, 4.37. What do you know? I'm sick with it, man. I am sick with it, dude. Sometimes there's these guys, man. Plus, he's put on that, he put on the Tyreek 10, dude. He looks fast. I don't know. He just looks fast, doesn't he? He puts on the 10, he looks fast, dude. But a 4.37 for Isaiah Pacheco, who, by the way, is again, a pretty big dude. It's not like he's like this little, mini back, little mini scat bag. Nah, man. Like the guy's got a little bit of a heft to him, if you will. Isaiah Pacheco running a 4.37 and weighing 216 pounds. Come on, dog. That's crazy. That is crazy speed. That is insane speed. Okay. Didn't love the vertical jump, 33 inches on the vertical jump. And sometimes a vertical jump is really indicative of like short area quickness, short area burst. And I think we saw that on game tape too. Like he's got really great linear speed. North south, oh man, the dude can get out. Laterally, he's not Saquon, okay? Like he's not, he doesn't have that like pop. He doesn't have that like, lateral pop where you're like, oh, ooh. Like my dude Kenneth Walker, who I love. I love Kenneth Walker. And it's because when you want to turn on his Michigan State tape, like the guy's got pop laterally, and then obviously the dude can get out too. He's got sub 4.4 speed as well. But yeah, no. Go ahead, pick up Pacheco over Foreman. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Okay. Bateman or Najee Harris. Oh God, it's fallen that far for Najee, hasn't it? This is how bad we've gotten with Najee Harris, man, is that we're talking about playing a wide receiver 2 coming off of an injury, and that is a legitimate question. But, oh, man. Miami has been kind of rough against um, running backs here, dude. Not going to lie. Let's see here. Hold on. I got it for you here. Okay, so obviously about league average when it comes to fantasy points allowed. But, dude, Miami's allowed 3.77 yards per carry to running backs. 3.77. That's the third best in the NFL. And I think where they've been banged is on like receiving yards, right? Where they've given up the fifth most receiving yards. But I think the way this offense is structured, I just don't think Najee's going to see the rock out of the backfield as much as he did last year. You know, you've got three, say whatever you want about Claypool, but as a number three, that's pretty good. I think as a number three, Claypool's really good. Then you've got Pat Freiermuth as well. There's just a lot of options. By the way, I really like Pat Freiermuth today in fantasy right now. I don't love Bateman. I don't love Najee, but man, if you're chasing that upside, I'll go ahead and take Bateman. As sad as that is, I will take Bateman. I think Pittsburgh will be trailing in this game too. That would be my other thought. I just don't know if Najee's going to see the work, man. That's kind of what I'm worried about, Remember last week too, he had just 49 total yards, dude, and obviously he did have that touchdown, which is great, but 49 total yards, man, that was against Tampa Bay. I get it, but he is seeing pretty good volume, 16.3 touches per game. Am I going to talk myself into Najee? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to, man. I'll go Bateman for the upside. But again, if you want floor, obviously Najee gives you the better floor. Bateman's floor is literally 0. Right? So if you want a floor play, go ahead and play Najee. But the upside, I think, Najee's not going to give you 20. I don't think he's got that in his game this year. Not with that O-line. Not with all the pass catching options. I don't see it. I'll go Bateman for the upside. But again, Najee, I think at least presents you like a 6-point floor. At least a 6-point floor. He'll give you between 6 and 12 for sure. So if that's what you like, go Najee. And by the way, for anyone asking questions, for me, it all comes down to who do you like, man? Play your gut. Don't listen. I'm going to give you my take, and I'll give you information. I'll give you plenty of insight, right? I'll give you all that. But, at the end of the day, I'm a random guy on the internet, dude. You know what I mean? Play your guys is what I always say. Whenever I get a question on Twitter, and it's oh, should I play player X or player Y? And I go with player X. And then he hits me back with, he or she hits me back with, oh, but player Y has done X, Y, and Z, right? It sounds like an algebra question right now. But whenever I get that, I always then flip it and say, you know what? Sounds like you like player Y. I would say go with player Y. So many times in this space, people look for confirmation bias. They want to make sure that the choice that they're making is being backed up by somebody else who is an expert or whatever. Go with your guys. Go with your guys every single time, dude. And I'll, like I said, I'll provide insight. But you don't need to listen to me, dude. There's no worse feeling, I would say, in the world. Not that I've ever done this, but I would just say there's no worse feeling in the world than having a gut feeling and somebody talking you off of that, and then your gut feeling goes off, right? Come on, you don't want that. And again, it's a lot easier to make a call, and let's say it doesn't work out. It's still a lot easier if that call doesn't work out to know, well, you know what? This was the call I made. I can swallow that, right? So anytime I get these, coin flip questions, go with the guy that you want to go with. I'll give you as much insight as I possibly can, but go with your guy. Michael Bernardo, Travis Etienne or Kenyon Drake. Travis Etienne, 100% for sure. I feel really good about that call. The Giants have been giving up a lot of production on the ground. Travis Etienne has been playing pretty well. It's still a 50-50 split there in Jacksonville, but he obviously has outproduced James Robinson by a significant margin. And Kenyon Drake, I at first loved Kenyon Drake, but then Gus Edwards gets the call up. I don't know if he's going to be active today, but I think he might be. And it could be a crowded situation there in Baltimore, and I don't want to mess around with that, dude. I don't want to mess around with that. Sean Glassford, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Thoughts on Curtis Samuel or Darnell Mooney? Curtis Samuel, come on. Darnell Mooney, I know he's been playing better as of late, but the Chicago offense, I think, is still a disaster. Yeah. Guru would pick Bobby Onions. He might. He might. You're right. He might. Over K. Dot. Yeah, he might. He might. I know. But yeah, let's find out. Bob Ross. Wait, that's not Bob Ross. My bad. That's Rob Ross. My brain sees that as Bob Ross. I've done so many Bob Ross clips. Rob Ross. Robinson, Deontay Foreman, or Pacheco? Ooh, that one's tough. I am going to say, tentatively, I'm going to say James Robinson. It would be James Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco coin flip for me, and then Deontay Foreman. Dude, you can't play Deontay Foreman today. Not against Tampa Bay, dude. They've allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to the running back position, and the offensive line sucks, and the offense in general sucks. Like, what's the upside with Deontay Foreman? Literally, the only way he's going to score is if he breaks out a long run. That's it, which he could do because he's talented, but no. Not against Tampa Bay, dude. Not going to do it. I would say James Robinson and then Pacheco, but it's a coin flip for me, man. Like, if you want to play Pacheco, I'm not going to be mad at that. It's a bad matchup, like I said, against San Francisco, and it's a good matchup for James Robinson. So I would say James Robinson there, and then Pacheco, and then Foreman. All right. I am not going to get this last name. Alejandro Haragi. I feel like that's close, but I probably still completely butchered it. Alejandro, what's going on, dude? Good day to you, man. Brandon Cooks, Kirk, or Pickens? Brandon Cooks. Whenever whenever someone says Kirk, I always think Kirk Cousins, and then I've got to walk myself back and look at the question and be like, okay, he's talking about three receivers. Okay, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, or George Pickens? Brandon Cooks is such an interesting one today. Hold on. Let me look up one thing on outside wide receivers. I think it's a neutral matchup. Otherwise, I would have written them up. But I think I like. Oh yeah. Okay. It's actually a bad matchup. Las Vegas has allowed the fewest fantasy points to outside wide receivers. That's interesting. They've allowed the fewest yards and the fewest receptions to outside wide receivers, and they've only allowed a 52% catch rate. That's the third best to outside wide receivers. So that's an interesting one. Not great matchup data there for Brandon Cooks. But I think I didn't write about Brandon Cooks this week because I still feel like I don't want to say it's still a neutral matchup, but it's a neutral play because Brandon Cooks is going to see volume. Yeah. So obviously the matchup data not looking great. And, Pickens has been playing really well. So I'll go Pickens. There. Miami's secondary super banged up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm talking myself into Pickens big time. Let's go. Bunnies are cool. I love that profile. Look at that profile pic. That's sick, bro. What is going on there? Hell yeah. AJ Dillon or Pacheco? AJ Dillon. I know we're super gassed up about Pacheco today, man, but nah, AJ Dillon, give it to me. Lane Johnson at a higher vert. Okay, fine. All right, just calm down, all right? Relax. Higher vert than Pacheco, 33 inches, which is 33 is not great, but it's not horrible. Come on, dude. What is that? Grady? I don't know. You need to. James Robinson, Brian Robinson, or Isaiah Pacheco, full PPR. Give me James Robinson and Pacheco. The Brian Robinson thing I'm a little bit confused by. Great story. I'm not saying it's not. It's an awesome story. But dude, he's in a three-man backfield in an offense that's not very good, right? Plus, you've got the quarterback situation there. Nah. I'm very confused by the whole Brian Robinson thing right now. To me, I don't even think not only is he not worth a start anywhere, like he's borderline waiver wire fodder. Like, nah, I'm completely 100% out on Brian Robinson. I got to burn through these guys and then I got to go, man. I'm running so late. PPR, AJ Dillon or Pacheco? AJ Dillon, 100% for sure. I feel good about that prime time. Nate Lagazzo, what's going on, dude? Brandon Ayuk or Drake London in PPR flex? Ooh, you got my brain in a pretzel on this one. Brandon Ayuk. Give me Brandon Ayuk. I think he's been playing really, really well. Obviously coming off that big performance last week, but I think Brandon Ayuk there. All right. Sideline star. My gut says to trust James Coe. Okay, there you go. Doug Rowe. Not sure how I discovered you, but grateful. Hey, man, I appreciate you, Doug. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go. Every Sunday, this show's going down, man. Every single Sunday. Let's make it happen. Okay, Scorpion Bob, Latavius Murray, Gus Edwards, or Pacheco? Come on, Pacheco. We don't even know if Gus Edwards is playing. Latavius Murray, he's in a three-way backfield too. Jets defense pretty good. Nah, Pacheco all the way. Bad matchup again against San Francisco if you guys are just popping in, but I don't care. Pacheco in a great offense, lead back. Come on, make it happen. Good athlete too. Thoughts on Drake London this week? Well, I mean, the passing volume obviously is not there for Drake London, and Atlanta's playing Cincinnati. I'll pull up a stat for you here. Cincinnati against outside wide receivers. This is primarily where Drake London obviously lines up. They have allowed the fourth fewest fantasy points per game to outside wide receivers. Ooh, they've allowed a 49.3% catch rate to outside wide receivers. Cincinnati has. That's the best in the NFL. 6.25 yards per target to outside wide receivers. That's the fourth best. So I do not love Drake London this week, even though I love Drake London, the player. All right, Michael Bernardo. I was sold on Kenyon until I saw Gus Edwards got activated. That's what I'm saying. I loved Kenyon, and then Gus Edwards got activated. I don't even know if he's going to play. I don't even know if he's going to, but let's say they ease him in. They give him like 5 carries. That's 5 carries Kenyon Drake's not getting. You know what I mean? And with a player like Kenyon Drake, you almost need that upside, or you need like more touches to kind of unlock that upside a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. All right, 3 more minutes, man, and I got to go, dude. Yeah, picking McLaurin at 38 still. Yeah, dude, me too, man. I liked McLaurin a lot. So yeah. Glassford, what's up, dude? Co knows. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I appreciate you watching it, man, for sure. Khaled Younes, obviously a Patrick Mahomes fan. I like it. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Najee or Lazard at flex? Oh man, again, this is how far Najee has fallen, dude. I will take. Oh. You know what, man? Screw it. Give me Lazard. Give me Lazard. Again, Najee's going to give you a better floor. Lazard's been pretty good, though. I think Lazard's been pretty decent. Yeah, I'll go Lazard there. I think he gives you a comparable floor to Najee, and I think he gives you a better upside. So comparable floor, better upside. Got to go with that player, Alan Lazard. Mink Demon. Scary Terry or Zeke? Definitely, for sure. This is the first time you're in the chats, man, so I appreciate you jumping in. Scary Terry or Zeke? Oh, Zeke against Detroit? Oh, come on, my guy. Got to go Zeke. I think Zeke's going to have a huge game. The people who are telling you that Zeke is bad, I don't believe either they're telling you that because of they want it to be true, or they want it to be true because that's their take. That was their take in the offseason, is that Zeke is bad and washed, right? So they're trying to reaffirm that. Or they're Tony Pollard truthers, right? If you watch Zeke play from like an objective basis, he has not played bad. He's not played like Zeke. I'm not trying to tell you the dude's like an absolute like jackhammer stud. No. He's played okay, though. Like people who are saying he's played bad, that's a gross over exaggeration. The reason he hasn't been good in fantasy is because he gets no targets. He's averaging like 1 reception a game, which would be like, I mean, by far a career low. I'm talking like career low by like 80%, right? So the drop off has not been running the ball. The drop off has been he doesn't see targets out of the backfield. One of those things you can't fix, being old and washed. One of the things you can fix, which is getting more targets out of the backfield. And by the way, again, I know Michael Gallup is back, but if this offense is going to hum, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, you got to get Zeke the ball out of the backfield too. So one of those things can change, and I think it's a very correctable thing, and that's catching the ball out of the backfield. So anyways, long story short, I think Zeke's been fine as a player. Hasn't been great, but I think he's been fine. I think people saying, "Oh, he's been a terrible draft pick." Fuck that, dude. What are you talking about, dude? In his same draft range, we got Cam Akers, Elijah Mitchell. Like, what? What are you talking about? He's not been a bad pick at all. He's been not great, but he's been fine. He's been fine. You drafted him as like a low-end RB2 flex play. He's absolutely been that. Anyways, whatever. I don't know why people are going in on Zeke. I think he's been fine. Anyways, whatever. Zeke today against Detroit. Nolan Henry. Who do you sit in half PPR? David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Alec Pierce, Terry McLaurin. Who do you sit in half PPR? Who do you sit? Tough one. David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Alec Pierce, Terry McLaurin. In half PPR. Oh man. I will sit. Do I sit David Montgomery? Am I really going to say that? Am I? Yes. Yes, I am. Here's the one thing, interesting stat about New England. New England has not, I believe they are the only team. I wrote this. Yes, New England's the only team to have not allowed a single touchdown to a running back. Not one. We're 6 weeks in. New England hasn't allowed a touchdown. They played Nick Chubb last week. Not a one. Not receiving, not rushing. No touchdowns for running backs for New England. They've allowed the third fewest fantasy points per game to that position as well. So I think you can sit David Montgomery. Obviously, you guys know me. If you know me, you know I'm a big Khalil Herbert guy. So there you go. Ken Tran, and then I got to go, dude. Drake or Pacheco? I think we're talking about Kenyon Drake, right? There's two Drakes, Ken. Kenyon Drake or Pacheco? Pacheco. And then finally, Keenan Allen. If Allen is active today, I promise you I can talk. You've got Brandon Cooks on standby. If Keenan Allen goes, do you play him? Yes. Sounds like he's really close. I will take 75% of Keenan Allen over Brandon Cooks in a bad matchup. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to peace out. I really appreciate you guys jumping in the stream. I know I was a little bit late today, so I do apologize for that. But every single Sunday around 7:30, we're going to have it. Follow me, obviously, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm really trying to build my TikTok base a little bit. Feel like we've done a pretty good job there. But if you want to follow me, at James D. Co. on all the platforms. And yeah, if you guys are new here, man, like and subscribe to the channel as well. All right, man. Peace. I'll see you guys.